Good morning. This is your Bitcoin update and your cryptocurrencies update as of Wednesday, November 18th. So let's hop right on over here to the news. So you may have heard that an executive at Citibank has predicted that Bitcoin could hit 318K in 2021. And I tried to look more into this, and the analysis was basically talking about previous Bitcoin rallies where you had a 2-year bull run in 2011 to 2013, where Bitcoin's price increased by 555 times. Then you had the correction in 2013 to 2015, where it dropped 86%. And then again, a rally in 15 to 17 of 121 times, and then a drop in that 2017 drop with the 84% decline. So using this, they kind of predicted that Bitcoin at its next all-time high should hit $318,000 per Bitcoin. So this is important to talk about because it does fit within our projected range of about 100 to 300, of about 100 to 400,000 per Bitcoin. At that point, we would be over the fair value of Bitcoin, which would be around 90,000. But I think the 318 mark that they're projecting is very reasonable. On the cycle repeat graph, we do have that estimated value of an all-time high around 360,000. And typically Bitcoin bull runs do end in pullbacks of 80 to 90%. So 80 to 90% of that would put us around 30 to 60,000. And they are projecting like 62 at the low point, maybe 59, 60 or so. So that's very reasonable. And this Citibank analysis does kind of follow what we would expect to see with previous cycles. Additionally, from the analysis we've done before with our stock to flow, it does stand to reason we're going to overshoot the fair value of Bitcoin like we did in 2017, where we reached almost 2,000 per coin, and then we fell back closer to the fair level, which is about 5.5 thousand. We are still currently trailing the fair value of Bitcoin, which is 22 to 23,000 right now. And currently, as of the making of this video, we're at about 17.5 thousand. So you want to keep those things in mind. Bitcoin is likely going to have a lot of positive upside in the near and long term, but once we get over that 90,000 mark, starting in about summer of next year, then we will be over the fair value and a pullback is probably going to happen at some point. Try to keep that in mind if you start investing much over that value, because as we've seen before, we could have a pullback of up to 80 to 90%. So over here on the Bitcoins worldwide, we do still have about 2.4 million Bitcoin left to be mined. Keep in mind the total supply of Bitcoin is capped at 21 million. And because of user errors in some cases where people lose their wallet codes and their keys, it's not going to be 21 million total Bitcoins that we have access to. So this supply is only going to get smaller once all of the Bitcoin are mined. So on the price charts, Bitcoin is up 5% on the day and 17% on the week, which is a little more than we normally see. Ethereum up 5% on the week, 1% on the day, pretty standard for crypto. XRP down a little bit on the day, up on the week, but mostly a sideways time period as of now. For the Bitcoin dominance, we do see Bitcoin's dominance increasing quite a bit from 65 yesterday to 67% today. The Bitcoin dominance typically goes up when the price of Bitcoin is increasing and then falls during a Bitcoin bear market, as we saw in 2017, where the price just started tanking shortly after the Bitcoin dominance was falling that summer. On Bitcoin treasuries, we do now see 842,000 Bitcoin stored in the treasuries of publicly traded companies, which is about 4% of the total supply is what we're seeing here. total valued at around $15 billion. This is quite a big jump from yesterday, I think, where we were at $3.5 billion. I'm not seeing any major shifts in the top companies, still Square and MicroStrategies, Galaxy Digital Holdings up at the top, and Grayscale still coming in with the most amount of Bitcoin. And they have updated Grayscale's numbers, so this looks accurate with their nearly 510,000 Bitcoin. So stock to flow model, hopping back over here, we are still below the fair value of Bitcoin, so we're going to have some positive upside potential. Keep in mind, during Bitcoin bull runs, we do expect to see pullbacks of 20 to 40% pretty regularly, and we typically trail the fair value of Bitcoin by several months. So in 2017, we hit the peak of around 5.5 in July, but it wasn't until September, October timeframe that the actual value of Bitcoin caught up. So this is something we could probably expect to see in this bull run, where we will be hitting a more stable fair value around May or June of next year. Cycle repeat, we are seeing a new projection of around 440,000. This is because we did not have the major drop that was expected. We were expecting a bit of a correction, has not happened yet. And if it does not happen, then their projection is much higher than what we've seen other people project. I don't think I've seen anyone predicting over 400K for this current bull run until now. So this may be a little inaccurate, but we'll keep an eye on it. In terms of Bitcoin charts, we do still see a huge amount of support at the 13K level, but as the price of Bitcoin increases, we are seeing that get further and further away. So it's very unlikely that we will go below this level, even if we do have a pullback. But any pullback that goes down to around 13,800 would be reasonable, considering the volatility we normally observe with Bitcoin. So if we're looking more at the analysis of Bitcoin in retail, we do have the search history of how to buy Bitcoin, which is what most people who are unfamiliar search. And as you can see, there was this huge spike during the 2017 bull run right around the peak. So once this kind of chart starts spiking, you know to be more careful. We aren't really observing any of that here right now. And over the past year, we've actually gone down on the week. So not very much interest from retail as of yet. It's still mostly those big institutional investors. So let's check out Bitcoin just as a search term. And we're observing the same thing, not too much interest. And that huge peak back in the 2017 bull run. So another thing to look at and keep an eye out for is when celebrities get involved in crypto. And the girl who played Arya in Game of Thrones recently tweeted about whether or not she should long Bitcoin. And most people said no, but she bought some anyway, which is cool for adoption. But at the same time, once celebrities get involved, a lot of people in retail will start looking into Bitcoin. And that's why we want to try to look at a holistic picture of what the everyday investor or saver is doing. So next we're checking out the DeFi index, and we do see we are up to $13.48 billion locked in decentralized finance. Maker is still at the top. Uniswap had that big drop from 3 billion value locked to 1.4 billion just yesterday, I think. I couldn't really find any news on Uniswap that would explain this, other than people are putting their money into Bitcoin because they foresee the value going up. All of these top DeFi platforms are on the Ethereum blockchain, and you can't trade Bitcoin on that. So you have to transfer your Ethereum or whatever coin you're transferring to an exchange, and then use that exchange to transfer it to Bitcoin. So that would remove it from the total value locked. So lastly, we are back over at the global pandemics dashboard, and we do still see the coronavirus is just ravaging the country and our economy. Almost up to 11 million confirmed cases, which is not something you want to see. Experts are projecting that the holiday season and family gatherings are going to be super spreader events. So if you are going to see family, please be careful and stay safe. Really quickly, I want to check out the map here just to show you how kind of bad we are. This is the congressional district map, so I'm switching over to counties. And what we'll see is pretty much the entire map is red. What we want to see is all the counties are green. So just a quick explanation of the colors. Green here represents less than one new case per 100,000 people, which is like an okay level. Yellow represents between 1 and 10 new cases per 100,000 people, which is like a bad level. Like we're in a pandemic kind of situation. And orange indicates we're not doing very good. Orange is the level they tell you typically at above 10 cases per 100,000 that it's not really safe to go out. So unless you need to as an essential worker, then please stay home and avoid public spaces like restaurants or bars or clubs or parks or things like that. And then red is uncontrolled and terrible growth, which is over 25 new cases per 100,000. So just putting this into perspective, these are daily new cases, by the way. A lot of places are just destroying these levels. As you can see, North Dakota up to 177 new cases per 100,000 people per day. Iowa, South Dakota, Wyoming, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Nebraska, Montana. A lot of places are just getting hit really, really hard by this. So our heart goes out to everyone. If you're able to stay inside, please stay safe. Take care. So that's everything I've got for you. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, and follow. It really helps on my channel. You can find me on other social media platforms. If you have any questions or want clarification on anything, please put it in the comments so that I can read those and respond, maybe make another video. That's all I've got for you today. So take care, stay safe, stay healthy, and thanks for watching.